The mindset to actually make money is what changed the game for me. That's what was able to get me out of my 9 to 5 job and go all in with my business. Now, we don't talk a lot about the mindset part because that's kind of like, we want to hear the tactics and the strategies to make that first $10,000 month, right? But the mindset is the actual thing that's going to help you get where you want to be. I don't care. I could give you all the frameworks, the strategies in the world, but if you don't have the right mindset, then it's not going to get you to where you want to be. So in today's training, we're going to be talking about how to train your brain to actually start making money, okay? Because you need to have that strong mindset and that mindset shift to be able to get to where you want to be. So in today's training, we're going to have a multiple six-figure affiliate, platinum affiliate for Legendary Marketer, and she actually started in March of 2021, guys. So not even a full year. She's been doing this and she's already crushing it. So I'm really, really excited to have Sarah Ravel on here. What's going on, Sarah?
Hey, how are you?
You just started this business in March of 2021. What got you into the affiliate marketing space? And just give us a quick couple minutes on how you got started.
So I came across affiliate marketing actually by finding Legendary through another affiliate. I did some research on what affiliate marketing would really entail because I had heard about it before but had never really looked into it. I was working at a grocery store as a seafood clerk and money was just, it wasn't working. It was getting tight and I needed to find something else. So when I found affiliate marketing, kind of looked into it, got an idea, and I was like, what the heck, might as well give it a try. So I wanted to talk about a little bit today about kind of content creation and mindset. I'm going to go over a little bit about my strategy when I sit down to make content, but then also the main focus is just keeping your mind on, I say mind on the money, but not in a literal sense, more of just mind on the motion of moving towards money. I think that when we sit here and look at the idea of content creation, we kind of get scared or frozen.
No, I do have a question on that. So when you first started, did you start just creating content right away? Or were you kind of like nervous to get on camera? Because we have a lot of beginners in here that they want to get started. They understand the power of TikTok, YouTube, affiliate marketing. They're just super scared to get on camera. Like, were you kind of scared to get on, or were you able to just dive in?
I was really scared. I mean, I still get nervous. Even doing these lives, I still get nervous all the time. I think I finished all of the training and like setting everything up. And I think I actually took like a week or two before I started cranking out some content. But once I got started, I just kept telling myself things. You have to stay on the path and be uncomfortable now to be comfortable later. All right, so when I first started, I just wanted to kind of put it out there that I never was the kid growing up that thought I would be making content online, social media presence. I was the kid that was sitting there just scrolling through to entertain myself in my pastime. So I start with what I kind of call the 3x3. You have a minimum of 3 posts per account. So whether that be like 3 Instagram posts, 3 TikToks, and of course, the more, the merrier. And then the other part of the 3x3 is motivation, eye-catching, and educational. So when I sit down to make content, I'll make one piece of content that has to do with motivation for people. I'll make one that's kind of eye-catching, and this is where you can kind of go dip your toe into making it like clickbaity. Mm-hmm. I personally keep it on the fine line between like clickbaity and just like really getting people engaged. And then for educational, it could be talking about, something about your niche to inform people. Setting up that like 3x3 framework for when I make content is just something that helped me get on the track to actually get started making the content. With that being said, it kind of leads into the mindset of continuing to make content. I will set up my camera and, whether I'm using audios from TikTok or I'm just filming something where I need to speak. And if I'm speaking, I'll just leave it on an open loop. I'll just press record on my camera and just keep going. This will help you get more relaxed and makes you feel like you're talking to not like an audience, just to people. Putting yourself into the mindset when you're making content of just, I'm hanging out, I'm talking with my friends, as if you're making TikTok videos or just content in general, whether it's, text or just your voice or editing, having fun with it in the sense of taking away the seriousness, even though it is for your job. I think that a lot of people are really uncomfortable when they first start out. And that's something that I've learned over time since starting, is that what's uncomfortable now is going to pay off in the future if you keep pushing through it. But if what's uncomfortable now, you just don't do, or you don't put the time in to make comfortable later, is going to result in, delayed success. As far as content creation, I know that I've gotten a lot of questions about like Instagram posts or
Mhm.
posts that aren't really, video or entertaining. It's more of like informative. I think that you can take even the simplest piece of information and make that into a post. If you have a 3-step process for how to do something or set something up. Let's say if your niche is, animal care, and you want to talk about how to set up a living space for a specific animal, and the products that you're an affiliate for are incorporated in that. You can break that up into multiple posts.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, just a more strategic question. Do you post more on TikTok or Instagram?
My main focus has transitioned more to Instagram. However, I believe in repurposing content. So if I have 3 or 4 reels on Instagram, those are going to be my TikToks. Or vice versa. If I have
Right.
3 or 4 TikToks, those will be my reels. However, I usually will do like 3 reels and 3 regular posts on Instagram. So I end up posting more on there. So the one thing I will mention about, TikTok as well, like you said, yes, I did start only being on TikTok.
Yeah.
And the issue with being on one platform and only focusing on one platform at a time is anything can happen and then you lose everything. So I've kind of had
Right.
the experience of growing exponentially and then kind of having to almost start over with TikTok because of the way it is run. People can like spam report you.
Mhm.
And that's unfortunately what happened with my one account, and I lost it. So then when I kind of restarted, I figured instead of taking that as a fail, I just kind of looked at it as a lesson learned and just kind of started a new TikTok and combined that with an Instagram and a Facebook group and went from there and almost acted not like nothing happened, keeping a light-hearted but still the authoritative mindset has been the easiest way to manage anything negative that happens in my business. So I've been seeing a lot of people do that as well, like you mentioned, transitioning over to Instagram too. I feel like it's a more secure because it's harder to get banned on. However, TikTok is just so much fun with the audios and you can reach so many people and really hit that, instant pull to get an
Yeah.
audience in.
No, yeah, for sure. That's what makes TikTok so amazing is that discoverability. But either way, like I mean, that's more strategy talk. Like I know we're talking more about mindset. And what I
Mhm.
like about what you said is like, hey, I lost this big account. How much followers did you have on that TikTok account, by the way?
I think the day before it went down, I think it was at like 108 or 109,000 followers.
Were you pretty upset, or you just like, whatever? I'll just go right into it. I know the framework of how to create content. I just go start over again. Like, was it pretty smooth, or were you?
It was smooth, but it wasn't. I was definitely upset because I knew that it was
Yeah.
because of haters. I'd been told by support, you were receiving a ridiculous amount of reports for something.
Oh wow.
So it was disheartening and a little blow to the motivation, but I knew that I couldn't let it stop me because I truly didn't do anything to cause the loss of the account.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like we go through these as entrepreneurs. I think we go through these cycles, right? Both good and bad. But the bad things, like the things that we can't control, like getting shut down, I think those
Mhm.
are the things that make us stronger as an entrepreneur, right? Affiliate marketer, yeah, but as an entrepreneur, business owner, like these are the things that are going to happen, right? Like whether you lose an account, you lose a Facebook ad account, whatever, right? Anything could happen. You just got to figure out how to pivot and just continue on, right? There's so many things we can control, but there's also a lot of things we can't, right? Again, so we have a lot of people that like are just terrified of getting on camera, right? Like they know they need to create content. They know the power of creating videos. Like that's why I'm doing this traffic challenge to push people to do it, but there's
Mhm.
still a lot of people on the sidelines. How do you get them to start creating content, right? I mean, I could only do so much to kind of push people out of their comfort zone, but what do you tell somebody, maybe a different perspective, to like, hey, like you need to start creating content so you can get to where you want to be?
The first thing I always tell people is to get comfortable in the sense of put yourself somewhere comfortable. If you try something, if it didn't really come out the way you did it, I gave myself 3 retakes. And if it wasn't how I exactly wanted it, I'd draft it and move on to doing something else with a different audio or different concept, just so I wasn't burning myself out on one idea. As far as getting you comfortable with talking on camera, I've propped up my phone and just recorded and just started talking, answering questions that I've written down on a piece of paper, talking about something completely unrelated to my business. I've had a Zoom call with like 2 or 3 different friends, even family members too, because even though you're already comfortable with them, you're getting used to being the one in control and directing a conversation.
You mentioned your three by three. You said you do motivation, eye catching, educational. Do you do that to kind of nurture your audience in a different way, or like what's your main goal with those three types?
So, yes, numbers wise for like views, likes, comments, kind of engagement, the eye catching one usually does grab more people in. However, I do think that the educational one is kind of like a close second. The reason I decided to kind of create content around that instead of only doing, eye catching or only doing motivational stuff was because I didn't want to have my content and accounts just kind of be one sided in a
Mhm.
way.
One
I wanted
dimensional.
to show diversity because I figured, that eye catching video might get people to like it, comment, become a lead, become a paying lead, become a follower. So I
Mm.
feel like it gets people to check back in. So it's not only tailoring a cold lead or someone who's like fresh to your page, but it's tailoring your warm and hot leads as well because you're kind of stirring the pot for everybody to be in.
Yeah, so essentially your eye catching is kind of like you're the top of funnel, right? You're getting all these new people. Maybe now they're following you, they're commenting,
Mhm.
and then you hit them with an educational or motivation, and then you kind of start building that trust with you, right? Is that kind of the goal with that?
Yeah, because
Got
at
it.
the end of the day, I want people to feel like when they're coming to my content and my accounts or me as a person, if they respond to my emails, you're coming to like a safe place to
Yeah.
learn, no matter what level you're at. And I want everybody to feel comfortable to ask any questions they have. So by building that trust with my audience, by doing the three different types of content, I felt like I was able to create that safe place for everybody. So I feel like obviously with being an entrepreneur, you're in control of your schedule, you're in control of setting everything up. I feel like there's this pressure of being an entrepreneur that if you take a day off, that's a day wasted. You could have been working on your business and building your business. So with that being said, I literally set myself up when my family is off, which is usually like Saturdays, Friday
Yeah.
evenings, I don't work. I may respond to a comment, may respond to an email, something that's really important, but I will set time aside for myself, whether that be to read a book or watch a Netflix show. You need that time. You need to be able to set that time aside for you to relax and enjoy the fruits of what you're doing. So just those few things for, your personal life and also just helping you move forward to help other people within your business, mindset wise, really made a difference because some people think it's silly. Some people don't take it as seriously because they think if they have that like guidebook step by step to set stuff up, they'll be fine. Your mindset really is what moves you forward.
Okay, awesome, Sarah. Now, I'm curious, but what if someone's starting out, they finally get out of their comfort zone, they start creating content, and let's just say they're 6 months in, right? But they're not seeing really the results that they want. Okay, they're not really getting any leads, any sales. What would you tell that person in that mindset?
I was told this at one point as well because of, getting back on a platform, you're starting over. Take a breath and take a step back. Even if it's a day, even if you want to do a week and just kind of like focus on something else, take a breath. Don't panic because everything can be, refined. Look back at your content or have a friend, someone you trust, look at your content and try something new. So I think that if you've been grinding and you've been working for a while, but you're not seeing those results that you want, taking a step back and then trying something completely new. If your content's usually super serious, make a funny video one time. That could be the difference. You never know, especially with TikTok, you never know what video could be the difference for you. I did see a few questions. One was by a gentleman named Ben. How do you conquer feeling inspired and motivated but discouraged at the same time? I've actually felt that. You've got all the information in front of you, you see these people, you're really excited, but there's still something holding you back from starting. There are a few different ways to handle that. One, you could literally, it might sound silly to some people, but just journal it. Journal what you're feeling, like unfiltered, just write down what you think is going on. Stop the overthinking and just let it flow. Overcome that like last bit of holding me back. How to choose the best products to promote? I say look at your interests first. Look at what you do on a day-to-day basis. If you're someone who really likes, lawn care or taking care of a home, use that to your advantage. Look at that stuff first. There are affiliate programs for pretty much every niche out there. So
Yeah.
looking into your interests first definitely helps you at least get started in a direction of what niche to get into.
So I have a question for you, Sarah. What programs did you take or what books did you read to kind of get your mindset to where you're at now? Because I think this is really powerful. What was the thing or the course or the book that got you to switch your mindset?
So even though I did like take the step of starting with Legendary, there was still that bit in the back of my mind that was like, how far is this really going to go? How long is this
Right.
going to last? I think that what changed, what got me out of that after finishing the challenge was Rich Dad Poor Dad. That book and Think and Grow Rich were the first two books I ever read. It really talked about the mindset of, it's not about earning as much money as possible, making as much time. And by doing that, you're making the income work for you. So although again, yes, we all have to make money, we have bills to pay, I will think about my messaging first and the rest follows. Switching from that mindset rather than that 9 to 5 mindset of like, I have to put in so many hours in order to get this kind of paycheck was really the turning point.
Okay, cool, guys. Let me see here. Someone said, Lena asked, Sarah, what's your TikTok? Like, where can people follow you on TikTok, Instagram?
Yeah, so on TikTok, it's the Blonde Affiliate and the number 2 because, the other account was the Blonde Affiliate. It wouldn't let me use the same name. On Instagram, it's just the Blonde Affiliate. And through my link, you can also find my Facebook group, which is a way to reach me, kind of more personally and quicker. But then also, if you opt in for emails, you can always respond to those emails. I always encourage people, even though they're on an automation, you can respond at any time with any questions that you have. I saw one question about like when I first started, how I was skeptical and what kind of changed my mind from that, it being quote a scam to being actually legit. I think it was researching companies and realizing that like if it was a scam, these companies probably wouldn't have these programs. They wouldn't have entire sites set up for me to read through how their affiliate program is. So I feel like looking into that and even reading reviews from the affiliate sites made the huge difference of like absolutely putting that stamp of approval that like this is a legit, industry to get into. How to raise self-image. I feel like everybody has value no matter whether they get dolled up or you're young or you're old or you wear sweatshirts and sit on your couch. Everybody is offering something and you're going to speak to someone. You're going to resonate with someone. So to raise your self-image, think about the people around you that already love you. Think about like your family, your, significant others, your friends, even asking them, if you need that next step too. I know that I asked my boyfriend at one time, like, what makes you want to learn whatever I'm talking about? And kind of getting that feedback from people you already know. And, the answer was you talk relaxed. I don't talk super authoritative. I'm still having the authority of giving the information, but kind of talking to people as if they're friends and family was for me what kind of was like, all right, so like I can use that to my advantage. If I talk like that to my audience, that makes me more relatable and, kind of just building on that image. The physical image part, I definitely stress like, don't change who you already are. If you wear polos and khakis, keep doing that if that's what you're comfortable in. Because the moment you start doing something like if I got dressed up in a ball gown and started making content, as soon as I put myself in that uncomfortable situation, it's going to relay in your content, in your business, in the way you communicate as well. I think I just want to tell people that no matter what you look like, what you sound like, where you come from, whether you have like a college education or not, whether you even finished high school or not, you can absolutely learn anything. You can learn how to do this industry. You may do it differently than other people, but you can definitely be successful if you stick with it and just kind of keep yourself in that mindset about why you're doing this in the first place.
Well, guys, make sure to follow Sarah on TikTok. So it's The Blonde Affiliate 2. I just posted it there. Or Instagram or at just The Blonde Affiliate. Yeah, go ahead and follow her. And thank you, Sarah, for being on. It was a pleasure having you. And you're crushing it. I can't wait to see you in the next couple, 2 to 5 years to see where you're at in your entrepreneur journey. You've been able to grow, very quickly. So I'm excited to see how you grow as an entrepreneur. Thank you guys so much for being on. We'll see you guys on the next one. God bless.